Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Huffman, what are you doing? You need to calm down, man. What the hell? I go away for 2 seconds and you're just... It's a wall of text. Oh my god. You're like telling a story while the music's going. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Fridays. I'm Adam Wolf and this is Final Fantasy XIV. We're going to be continuing on with the main scenario quests. We're into 82 through 83. You're singing a song. And I don't know how much of it we're going to get through, but we're going to try our best to get through it. This first set of quests is quite long. So, and we ended on Tracks in the Snow? I don't know. We'll have to take a look here. Whoa, am I not being put in a queue for the first time ever? Oh, I spoke too soon. Either way, I'm excited to get back into it. And again, keep in mind, we are doubling up on Sundays. So, we will continue this on Sunday at noon, like we have been. Tonight was the final night of bowling. High-lows. I came in 14th in the high-lows, unfortunately, but was I right about the quest that we landed on? Tracks in the Snow. Yeah, there you go. Which is, you know, whatever. High-lows are not really that important. They're just extra. I won $12. But the entire season, my team came in 4th. Which is awesome. Out of like, what was it? 10 or 12 teams, something like that. So we came in 4th. I won. I earned almost $400. Now, granted, okay. That is aside from the fact that we paid $20 a week for 32 weeks. So I made some of my money back, over half of it at least. But that plus the $12, I came out with $400, which is awesome. So, good season. Very good season. I will be going back next season for sure. Sans one of our teammates, because he's an old codger. And he was being told he was being kicked out of the league, though I don't think he knew that, even though he was told straight to his face, because nobody wants to play with him. But he did everything in his power tonight to just be nice to everybody. I mean, it's like overdoing it. He was overcompensating now, and it's just too late. He's being kicked out. The guy just had a bad attitude, man. Every week he was rooting against people, which is like, yeah, you want to win, but at the same time, you don't want to do it at the expense of being a poor sport, you know? And so he was. So nobody cared for that. And he was told he's not coming back. He's being kicked out. Which is fine. But, yeah, good season. We came in 4th, so I'm good with that. Now, keep in mind, that was with handicap. Okay, we had handicaps, and without handicap, it would have been nicer, because then we could really see where we stand. But, you know, it's basically like the worst you did, the higher in the standings you were because your handicap was so high. It's ridiculous. So that's right, Huff. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Well, he decided to not play nice, and he's being kicked out. He can't play in our sandbox anymore. Anyway, let's get on with it. What ho, chums? Been given something to do, have you? As it happens, I too have been ordered to make myself useful. Sounds like rather a tall order. since you ask, where to scour the Eblin Rime for survivors. What? Wander around ice fields on the off chance you'll find someone? You'd take forever to finish a job without the benefit of my expertise, or more specifically, my telescope. Come, friends, I know just the spot to begin our search. This guy's full of himself, isn't he? I'll probably regret this, but we may as well humor him. Yes. We might as well. Oh. How was your week, Huffman? Good? Also, you probably noticed, yeah, I know. Your week existed. I feel that sometimes. I don't know if you were there, but we finished Resistance 2, which is why I played Destiny yesterday, because I didn't have any, I don't have any thumbnails made up for Resistance, Retribution, or Resistance 3. Also, my copy of Stellar Blade came in today. I pre-ordered that game 2 days ago. So somehow they got it to me on release day, which is awesome. So I have it installed. Since I got the physical copy, I got the unpatched version, so none of the garbage that's been happening with it will take place. They haven't patched out anything in the 1.0 version, so I'm glad I went back to physical copies. How were the cookies? There were donuts, and this time they were donuts. All right? They were just far too oily. I spy with my little telescope a massive sheep thing, or maybe it's a cow? Not what we're after, either way. Is that an aether current? Ah, no, just a wind sprite. Other than that, it's all snow, snow, snow. But lo, what do I see o'er yon hillock? There's no mistaking it, that's a girl. A survivor? Show me. Over there, beyond that tree. It looks like she's running away from something, though surely not us. She wouldn't even know we're here unless she had a telescope like mine. All I can tell is that she's wearing a pale green dress, a rather fetching one at that. He's looking at the dress. I was there in the VOD, I think. She'll be long gone by the time we get anywhere near, but we should be able to follow her footprints. Shame you could have made a brand new hit dessert with some donut cookies. Well, I mean, like I said, I think I will try that again. But this time I wanted to actually try and nail the actual donut aesthetic. And strangely enough, after I tested them out of the the pot, let them cool down. They were very crunchy on the outside, soft on the inside, but too much oil. And I think it's because I screwed up when I read in the cookbook, it called for a 1/4 cup of butter, melted butter. And after that, it said vegetable oil. Now, I thought it was basically saying you could use butter or vegetable oil. So I accidentally put vegetable oil, a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil in the mix. And then I read it correctly after the fact that I already put it all together and said, oh crap. And then I added the butter. And so I think that's what gave it a really oily flavor. But what's weird is that after I let them cool down, I topped a couple off with some chocolate glaze, frosting, whatever. Icing. There we go. And then I put them in the fridge to let them, chill and, harden up on the icing. And, of course, to have it wait until I went to the bowling. I went to bowling tonight. And so once I got to the bowling alley, they were sitting out on the table. They were coming to room temp. I went back later on in the evening, got one. It was the perfect texture. It wasn't crunchy. It was soft like a freaking donut. And I'm like, was it the fridge? Was it the cooling down in the fridge that changed the texture? It was weird. I don't know. Like it went from crunchy to soft. And I'm like, so I threw the rest of what I had when I got home. I threw it all in the fridge to see if maybe it would improve it. But needless to say, I'll be trying it differently next time. I think I'll just get some puff pastry and just make them that way. But these turned out to be, you know, cake donuts. It's just too much oil. And I think it's because I screwed up the batter. Or the dough, I should say. Anyway, I'll let Lucia know where you're heading. Oh, and take these warming tinctures with you. The poor girl must be chilled to the bone, if not on the verge of freezing to death. That's actually very thoughtful, thank you. But won't you need some for yourself? No, I'll be fine. As a man of chivalry, my honor demands I knew no less. And lest we forget, the very reason we are here is to protect those in need. Now go, and Godspeed. Out with the friar in your monastery abode. Had I to guess, the oil did give it the oily flavor, yes. Well, it's like oil in the dough, plus you throw it in the same oil to cook it. Yeah, it kind of activates the oil that's in the dough, and it just becomes even more oily. So I imagine if I did it next time I do it, it should be better. But cooling solidifies it, should harden it, but the thawing back out might have been the key here. You might have caught it at a perfect moment of thawing. It just, it turned it back into a soft donut instead of a crunchy outside and soft inside, which wasn't bad, but the cooling in the fridge, I did not expect to actually have that effect. I just thought it would make it hard, but it turned out it wasn't. A trail of fresh footprints lead east. But as much as I love donuts, I've had my fill. That being said, my backup was I bought a dozen of my local grocery store's donuts. So now I have a dozen donuts from the grocery store in the fridge. So I'm sick of donuts, but I have a dozen in the fridge, plus all my extra ones. And little donut holes that I made from the donut holes, you know, when I punched them out. So I've got nothing but donuts in my fridge. I just like they're gonna be consumed very slowly. Oh my god, I've been having donuts for the last 2 weeks, just trying to get it right, and I'm so sick of donuts. I will say though, tonight we died on donut soup. in jelly broth. I will say though that when I tried to make donuts, cake donuts, so to speak, out of cake batter, I actually got, you know, Betty Crocker vanilla cake batter. And I've got that donut mold sheet. It's like a cookie sheet, but it's like it holds only 6. It's only got 6 slots for donut shaped whatever. I poured some batter in there, let it cook up. They turned out to be like, you know, they were like little mini cakes. But once I glazed them up, I did 2 rounds of glazing, glazed it, put it in the fridge to solidify for an hour, took it out, glazed it again, put it in for another hour. Once I took a bite out of one of those, good lord. Not only did the glaze kind of just seep into the cake batter a little bit, but man, it was so good. It literally melted in your mouth. Think of like a Krispy Kreme glazed donut, just not the same texture as a donut, just like a mini cake, a little cake donut, so to speak. I mean, it is, you know, it's cake in the shape of a donut, but like a mini cake. Oh man, it was so good. I'm like, I could only eat a couple of these. That is rich. So it was something nice. It just wasn't a cake donut. So a nice little donut peel off, a side of donut wrapped asparagus with some buttered donut toast. That sounds fantastic. These footprints appear to be the same as those you saw previously, and they lead toward the building. Gee, I can see Alize and Alphino here. We're getting closer, I'm sure of it. But yeah, I do have a lot of cake batter still left, so I'm probably just going to put that in my rectangular glass baking thing. I don't know what the baking container, and I'm gonna make like a long single layer cake and bring that to work or something. I'm gonna make my own frosting though, because I got another bag of confectioner sugar. So, we're using a lot of confectioner sugar lately. At first we thought she'd gone inside the building, but the door doesn't look to have been opened in some time. She might still be nearby, so we'll keep looking around here. Then again, it's also possible that she ran right past this place. Would you mind searching up ahead? Oh, sure. Send this guy to do all the hard jobs. So needless to say, I have donuts up to my eyeballs in my apartment. The donut holes definitely turned out to be a little bit more crunchy, because they didn't take any time at all to cook. The girl in the green dress anxiously surveys her surroundings. Were you to call out to her from this distance, it might attract wild beasts to your location. It would be safer to get closer first, but you must do so without drawing her attention. Oh boy, we got a sneaking minigame here. Funnily enough, I've also had a lot of donuts lately. I was gifted 3 containers of some little mini donuts, about as large as you can cup your index finger and thumb. Oh yeah, wow, those are actually smaller than the donuts that I made, just by a little bit. Only slightly smaller. Follow the girl from a safe distance. The objective will end in failure if you're noticed. Make use of covers such as rocks to approach her without being seen. Similarly, the objective will also end in failure if you fall too far behind. Of course, should you fail to complete the objective, you may try again to be. I was wondering when she was gonna turn around. No. Nobody's here. Oh, you are. You are definitely imagining things. That sounds gross. Go away, you weird monster. I like the fact that they've been introducing like different little mini games here and there with most of their expansions. She's gonna see Mini Torg. Guessing she's going up there. Oh, you little rodent. You tried to trick me on that one. I guess I could have gone there, but this seemed easier. Just go back down the hill. I think she's going right in. Boo. Still in one piece. I'm guessing this isn't voiced. Who are you? Stay back. This house is packed with explosives. Take another step and I'll blow this place sky high. Yeah, okay, sure. Please, we just want to talk. I'm Alphino. This is my sister Alize and our good friend Valtamont. We have no intention of hurting or taking anything from you or anyone else. I give you my word. We and our comrades have come to provide aid to the people of Garlemald. Aid? You savages are the ones responsible for all this. You did this to us. We didn't, I promise you. One of the other reasons we came to find out what happened here, in fact. The Telafari are the ones to blame. They're the ones who laid waste to Garlemald, and they won't stop until they've destroyed the entire world. They're the enemy, our enemy. On our way, we encountered Imperial soldiers who had been made their thralls. Those poor souls are now in our care, and we are striving to cure them of their affliction. You're the first person we've met who wasn't already enslaved. How are you able to escape the Telafari's influence? Are there any others like you? I'm sorry, I don't mean to overwhelm you. Let's start with the introductions. Can you tell me your name? My name's Lucina. Lysina? Lysenia? I don't know, whatever. As for how I've managed to stay sane, I've been asking myself the same question ever since that night and the roar, that terrible roar, and then the screams. I was screaming too, I think. I'm not sure, I can't remember. Then came the silence. Everything was still. It was like waking up from a nightmare. I thought that maybe the fighting had stopped, so I stepped outside. If your hells are real, I saw one that day. I ran, past friends, people I'd known all my life. Eyes vacant, dead, staring at the sky. Others were mad and violent. I saw them struggle with soldiers, but didn't stay to watch. I fled as far as my legs would take me. Do you have family here? Is this their home? Hey, Rob. No, this is Victor's Spoils, a mansion for retired soldiers. Or it was, but now me and a few others are borrowing it. As for the explosives, I was making that up. No, really? I just wanted to keep everyone else safe, and I didn't know if you were... The truth is, our supplies are running low. You said you're here to help, can you? Of course, whatever assistance we can provide, we will. Thank you. I'd better tell the others first, though. Wait here. She just packed the whole mansion full of explosives, and she's going to kill a bunch of people. This is everyone. So, 4 of you. Lucinia says you can be trusted. But these are desperate times. We'd be fools to let foreign troops into our home. Having said that, were you to Stupid freaking fruit flies, man. Already? Were you to provide us with means of heating the place as a sign of goodwill, perhaps we could take you at your word. Yeah, she is. If that is too much to ask, then leave us be. Time to put my firewood gathering skills to use. Could you provide the spark with a little magic, Alize? We'll have a fire burning in no time. May we build it under the gazebo? The what? Oh, you mean the bower. Yes, yes, do as you will. Bower, bower, whatever. Okay, she was strangely silent right there. Not a word. We get a new piece. Sorry, I'm still finding it hard to come to terms with all this that's happened. Now that you're here, though, I'm hoping things might change for the better. You know, I've worked up quite a sweat from all that running about, so I'll leave space around the fire for the others. As you could tell, they're in far worse state than me. We were planning to look for somewhere warmer or with more food, but they're not going anywhere until we nurse them back to health, which I don't know how to do. Is there anything you can do to help them? I've got healing magic. I'll point a finger and they'll be better, because I am the Lord. I was going to say, what the hell? They have a radio. Who the hell's playing radio right? Like, what station is up and running? In a war. There's no way radio waves from another continent could reach here. I could treat their frostbite and their wounds, but it will take time to for the fire to do its work. Now would be a good occasion to make use of Emenelane's tinctures. I'm trying to remember how to say his name. Emenelane, whatever. The ones that can warm the body from the inside out. Would you make sure everyone gets one? Yes, of course. The numbness is beginning to subside, though I suspect once the fire dies, it will return with a vengeance. The fire won't die. It's fine. Here, drink this potion that you know nothing of. Warming tincture? I've never heard of such a thing. No harm in trying. But tell me, have you heard aught of the city? Though calling it that seems absurd after what's happened. It's nothing but ruins now. The few buildings still standing offer no more than meager protection from wind and snow. Food production, water purification, the magitech that sustained us has come to a grinding halt. What machina that remains operational cannot be run for lack of ceruleum. Of course, Cerulia Ingens is full of this stuff. For all the good it does. No one here knows the first thing about extraction or refinement. A lot of useless information for me. All is well. Yes, never better. Oh, what sweet libation is this? Is it poison by chance? Ha, 'twas a joke. A joke. Ha 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 ha. Oh, I didn't... Stupid controller. Alright, well, I guess we're just going to skip all his garbage. There's a way to turn that off. I'm going to turn that touchpad off. It's really annoying. Would it be in here? No. Ah, here we go. Use touchpad as a mouse. Enough of that crap. It's ruining a lot of freaking conversations. Because I accidentally touch it. What do you want? A tincture. May as well drink it, I suppose. This? It's a radio. You don't have them where you come from, I take it? We use them to listen to messages sent by others, even over great distances. There are different types, but this model is by far the most popular. Made with quality components, crafted with the finest ore, sourced from Locus Amonis, it is. Not all that useful since the capital fell into ruin. The people at the broadcasting station must have either fled or ended up like all the others, because all we've been hearing is the same music being played over and over again. Home beyond the horizon, an ode to the brave men and women sent to reclaim our ancestral home of Locus Amonis. We may have founded the empire in these frozen wastes, but we always hoped to take back what was once ours. 'Tis a solemn reminder that though we must suffer great hardship, better days will surely come. Despite everything, I believe the Emperor Varus yet lives, and that he speaks to us through our radios. It was a cunning strategy, faking his murder. He must have foreseen this catastrophe and chosen to conceal himself, that he may one day make his triumphant return. Yes, I'm sure of it. Emperor Varus would not be defeated so easily. Wouldn't you like to know? Get away from that awful, awful music. What's that? For you, madam. So this is what you gave the others? Thank you, I'll save it for later. Actually, I have a few things to ask you. Am I married? No. Do I have a girlfriend? No. Please be mine. Are you part of the group staying in Laterum? I saw Legatus Vergilia's troops heading toward the Magna Glacies a few days ago. Are they the ones you encountered? Yes. Camp Broken Glass, you call it. And Virgilia and her men are all there now. So how did you reach the Magna Glacies? Did you cross the mountains on foot? What do I know that he doesn't? Varus wouldn't survive a fight with me. Airships. Then there might be a way to... Licinia, where is everyone? What? Is something the matter? Yeah, I just heard somebody else, a voice from inside you say, you must be imagining things. Everyone's out here. Perhaps a baby Almasti has found its way into the house. It wouldn't be the first time. Without the soldiers to scare them off, wild animals have been roaming closer to the settlements. Some have been known to attack people too. Oh, I don't believe her sob story for a second, dude. She's hiding somebody. I've just had an idea. If you and yours are strong enough to defeat a legatus, then surely a few beasts shouldn't pose a threat. If you have a mind to continue helping us, perhaps you could head to the other side of the lake. There's a small group of tappers living there, people whose job was to extract ceruleum. They still do, from what we can tell. I've already tried asking if they would share their fuel with us, but they're not willing to give it away. They want food in exchange, lots of food, and that's something we don't have and can't get on our own. On top of that, to even reach their den, we'd have to make our way past all those creatures. Would you be willing to go in our place? We only need enough ceruleum to last until the others are strong enough to travel to your camp. If the offer still stands, that is. Oh, and I don't expect you to give up your own supplies, but there might be another way to pay the tappers. You'd best watch out for baby Almasties while we're away. That face. Ah, yes, of course. If I see any, I'll be sure to shoo them away. To reach Tapper's Den, you'll have to cross the lake. The ice is thick enough to support a person's weight, but if you'd rather not take the risk, you'll need to take the long way around. Finding the entrance can be a bit tricky too, so it's easier just to look for someone standing guard outside. However you decide to head there, please be careful. I think I'm a big boy. I'll just go across the frickin' ice. With my giant dragon. So Rob, I've got this website that I use to watch like TV shows and stuff like that from all the different services. And I thought of a show from back in the day that I watched. The ice will stay just fine. If it's supporting these fat pieces of garbage, it'll support me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if they got it. Of course they've got it. Legend of the Seeker. Remember that one? I remember that show being good. Hopefully I'm right. Also, Robin Hood. I want to get that on my list too. I want to rewatch that. I remember it being pretty good. I'm hoping that it's stayed good. Who goes there? How did you find us? You're standing outside a cave in the middle of nowhere, wearing brown instead of white. Yeah, it only had a couple seasons. It wasn't a long-running show, but it's still really good. I liked it anyway. What do you mean I stand out like a sore thumb? I literally just said that too. Huh. If the Pure Bloods over at Victor Spoils hadn't given away our location, you'd never have found us. Those stuck-up arseholes. Wow. All right, way to swear. Thought they could come waltzing in here demanding cerulean with nothing to offer in return. Ha! Looks like the boot's on the other foot now. The capital's gone to shite. So they've resorted to sending you to negotiate. I know your game, sellsword. If they think we'll give in to intimidation, they've got another thing coming. Another think coming? That's not what they meant to write, was it? You guys don't want this fight, I promise you. This one's missing a lot. I told you you guys didn't want this fight. I'm just gonna let you get a couple swings in. Okay. Big guns, huh? Okay. No, not yet. But you will be. Did you ever watch the Robin Hood show? It was a BBC show. That one was really good. I missed that one. There you are. Just after you left, Licinia asked me to go and catch up with you in case you needed a hand. Someone must have let slip that I've a little experience in transporting barrels of ceruleum. I didn't. Yeah, that one was really good. So this is Trapper's Den. Well then, after you. Why is my character not telling her that Licinia is acting weird? Who are you? What happened to the guards? I killed them. Eorzeans and rebels here to save the people of Garlemald? That doesn't make any god's damn sense. Why in the hell would you pass up this chance to put those Imperial bastards to the sword? Let me guess. None of you are Garlean. You were brought here from other lands? Gir Abania, Yanshia, Bazja, Damaska, to name but a few. Some dragged here against our will. Others fed bullocks about a better life. All put to work extracting ceruleum. I didn't watch Merlin. That was always on my list, but I never actually ended up watching it. All given the esteemed title of An, placing us firmly at the bottom rung of the ladder. But the old hierarchy means nothing in the new Garlemald, says we. About the only thing that's escaped more or less unscathed is Cerulia Ingens, still sustaining us even with our paymasters out of the picture. We hear you're experts in drawing up cerulean from the bottom of the lake, but how can you do that if it's frozen over? Your character doesn't say a lot of things and doesn't stop a lot of things. Merlin was a very good show too. Yeah, you had mentioned that one. I probably should put that one on my list, actually. Ha, wouldn't you like to know? Trade secrets, I'm afraid. At any rate, it's not as if ceruleum is used for much these days, what with the city in ruins. We take enough to power our heaters and save the surplus for later. And though it helps stave off the cold, it does sod all about hunger unless we can trade it away. Speaking of which, be sure to tell your contingent we've got ceruleum by the barrelful. If they're interested, we'll exchange it for whatever provisions they're willing to spare. We can certainly ask, but if you're all free to go now, why carry on living here? Free to go? Go where? Even if we managed to get back to our homelands, there'd be nothing left for us thanks to the Empire, and the knowledge and skills we acquired working here would be practically useless outside of Garlemald. So we're staying for the time being. Long as there's a need for ceruleum, we'll find a way to get by, even if Garlemald, as we knew it, is gone for good. Gone for good. Regardless of what the Ilsabard contingent does for the people of Garlemald, the Empire itself is already a thing of the past. For many, that would be a cause for celebration, while for others, their whole way of life will have been turned upside down. After all the atrocities committed in the Empire's name, perhaps it is for the best that it is consigned to history. But what of the ordinary people, their lives, their stories? Should they be forgotten too? I suppose there will be plenty of time to ponder that later. For now, let's see about getting some ceruleum. Okay. Leg gear. Pewter leg gear. Luncheon toadskin hose of casting. Hosiery? But why? I can't see it anyway. I am wearing heels. Why? So you've come seeking ceruleum, have you? What? Those purebloods at Victor Spoils sent you? To turn to their enemies for help, they must be more desperate than I thought. Then again, Licinia's got her little sister to think about. Oh, that's who was in there. A sister, but we only saw Licinia and 3 men. It's possible she died from whatever was ailing her. If she needed treatment, I doubt there'd be any way to get it around here. I may have refused Licinia at first, thinking she'd come back with something to exchange, but I can spare them a bottle's worth of ceruleum. Consider a reward for introducing me to the rest of your contingent. Be sure to send them our way, you hear? I can't for the life of me think why Licinia would keep her sister a secret from us, but we can ask her about that after we've delivered this ceruleum. Come on, let's hurry back. So, my Skyrim videos are actually performing quite well. I'm very, very happy with the way they're going. Most recent episode got, I think, about 59 views, something like that. Pretty good. So, yeah, I got my copy of Stellar Blade today. I'm not sure if I'm going to stream it or not. Just because a lot of people's gripes with the game are mostly about the story. And if it's kind of like a blandish story, then it may not be good to showcase, at least, in terms of story. But everybody else is playing on English. And not in Korean, so I imagine it probably sounds better in Korean, but a lot of people are saying that Eve is kind of like bland. Like she doesn't really, I don't know, she doesn't really express much. And that her relationship with the male counterpart in the game is kind of like, they don't even react like they're friends, I guess, or something. Like he's just deadpan and she's just like her brain somewhere else, I guess. I don't know. From the demo, it certainly seemed like she had something to say, but I don't know. I figured maybe I'd stream it, maybe not, but we're not done with Resistance. Say Resident. So I basically, if nothing else, I wouldn't be playing it until, I don't know, maybe next month or something like that, but I'm not sure if I want to stream it. Just kind of want to play it. My Skyrim videos. This isn't right. It's too quiet. I would have thought Alphino would still be treating them by the fire, but they're nowhere to be seen. We're not done with the resident. I'll look inside the house while you search outside. They can't have gone far. Yeah, it is dead silent here. What the hell? Uh-oh. What the hell's going on? Alphino, what happened? You were charged to take care of these people. It's Licinia, isn't it? They asked me to help carry supplies, but when I followed them back here, they attacked me. Caught me off guard, forced me to defend myself. I fear they fared rather worse than me. You can't fool us. We know what you're about. No, you don't. Oh, I'm not passing judgment. I bought it. The game is in my possession. I've installed it on my console. I intend to play it. I'm just not sure if I'm going to stream it. I mean, we'll see how the story is. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to see how the story is. Maybe I'll like it compared to other people, but that depends. Slaughtering innocents again, eh, Alphino? Good man. They're not innocent. They tried to kill him. Vultures, that's what you are. Waiting in the wings for us to show weakness, then you swoop. Here to help? What rot. All a ploy to make us lower our guard. Let you in, put ourselves at your mercy, put us in chains, steal our lands, get your revenge. Good lord, these people are brainwashed. You're wrong. That's not what any of us want. Save the arguments for later. We got bigger problems. I found empty medicine bottles and a bed that was still warm. It's true, Licinia was hiding her sick sister in the house. But now there's no sign of either of them. Where are they? Where did they go? Away from you and yours. If you think I'll tell you, you're a fool. I'd never give up my people. We're trying to help them, you idiot. Ooh. She's calling him stupid. Her sister's ill. The empty bottles prove it. So the medicine ran out, or she put it in her pockets to make it easier to carry, or to avoid the sound of clinking glass. There are beasts everywhere. How could you let them go alone? To protect them from you. You invaded our homeland, tainted with the same sorcery used to slay our countrymen. A Garlean should sooner die than suffer the insult. Better for them to flee, put their purity intact, or keep their purity intact. than to be corrupted by your vile magics. We were waiting for a chance to free them since the moment you arrived. This is getting us nowhere. I cannot say how Licinia and her sister will react when we find them, but find them we must. Go on without me, both of you. I first need to tend to my injuries and theirs, and will join you in the search after. Alright, be careful. We'll do our best to find them quickly. There's only one path out of here, so that's where we'll start. I mean, I might even do Stellar Blade starting next Monday instead of Resistance Retribution. I figured we'd keep going with Resistance, you know, because, you know, finish up the series and whatnot, but I didn't expect Stellar Blade to show up. Especially not on release day. I pre-ordered it only 2 days ago. So how they managed to pull that off, I'll never know. 2 sets of fresh footprints. Young women, judging by the size. This is definitely them. Come on. I mean, obviously it's them. We're tracking them. Duh. I mean, do you guys want to see it or no? If you guys want to see Stellar Blade, I'll play Stellar Blade. We'll stream that. I wouldn't mind a break from the extremely difficult old games. And I'd rather play an extremely difficult new game. Or modern games, I should say. I still don't even know what the game is beyond woman. The trail stops at the frozen lake. Perhaps they chose this route so as to not leave footprints. I can't think of any other reason. Look at this place. It's crawling with beasts, and I can only imagine how hard it must be for her ailing sister to cross the ice. We could really do with Alphino's help, but we can't afford to wait for him. Let's split up and look for clues. I mean, I don't really know much about what the story is either. It's just another... People are comparing it to... I mean, hell, even the developer or the game director from Shift Up is comparing it to Nier Automata because that was their inspiration. Not just, you know, Souls-like games, but Nier Automata was like a big deal for them. So, you know, think of it like that. It's post-apocalyptic Earth, and you've got these androids that are doing something on it, like, I don't know, maybe trying to find what happened, fight enemies, and all this other stuff. So that's essentially what I know about it. But, I mean, obviously, playing the game, we'd find out more. The empty bottle smells faintly of alcohol. The thin coating of dirt indicates it has been here for some time. It is unlikely to have any connection to Licinia or her sister. Yeah, there's some inspiration from those games as well. Bayonetta and Devil May Cry and whatnot. You know, I put out a video on the demo, and I loved it. The combat is getting glowing reviews. People are just, like, poo-pooing the story, and I'm not entirely sure if it's that bad, but we'll see. It's Shift Up's first attempt at a mainstream game, so, you know, got to give them some credit for doing what they've done. Though, I can't agree with the fact that just because Sony said so, they had to censor a couple things. Like, I guess there's some situations where a lot of blood gets on Eve after she's killed like a giant freaking monster, and they've dialed the blood back for some reason. Even though people drew up the comparison of Bloodborne in 2015, where there was a character, or your character, or whatever, is just covered head to toe in blood, and it seemingly was okay then, but it's not okay now. And then there's this one outfit where it's like a swimsuit, and they kind of, it was not super revealing, but you know, she had cleavage, and it was a little bit thin on the bottom, but like they put a like t-shirt and shorts under that to go with it, to kind of cover up those parts. And it's just like, you guys are already censoring this game. Like, that's, I mean, just leave it alone, dude. It's not the most revealing outfit, but it's like, you know, it's not really much worse than whatever, you know, all the other stuff in the game. You know, it's not about the freaking outfit. It's about the fact that they're censoring the game already. So I'm lucky. I'm lucky, and I'm happy that I went back to physical copies, because I can play the game as it was intended. 1.0. You know, I turned off updates, so I did not update the game. So I'm going to be playing as it was intended, and then later on when I've finished it, I'll download the patch. I'll get New Game Plus and blah blah blah, all that crap, and the 36 more costumes that they put into the game for free. The blood staining the snow appears to be fresh. Judging by the amount, the victim may have been severely wounded. The trail of blood leads southeastward. I know, but I'm just saying, like, it's kind of odd that, you know, this game is very much, like, very bloody. A lot bloodier than I even anticipated when I played the demo. I was actually taken back by how brutal it was, because I didn't expect it. But this is not good. Are they sleeping or are they dead? Two bodies are already cold. Aw, they're dead. They shouldn't have done that.
Blood trail. We found one. They were attacked. No. Why wouldn't they?
Safer to brave the wilds than trust in our magic. We should have... I should have... We can't leave them like this. We have to take them home.
What if we're only making it worse?
Maybe we don't belong here, but neither do they. Not out here in the wind and the cold. I heard the story about Varus's voice from beyond the grave. Of course, I didn't believe it, but Licinia and her sister did. Perhaps there is something to the tale after all. I want to understand. So I'm going to borrow this for a while, if that's all right. You had every reason not to trust us. We came as trespassers, invaders. But I pray that in time, we will be more than that to you. That we will find a way to help your loved ones. And see that no more children are left to freeze alone in the snow.
Well, that's unfortunate. There must have been something we could have done, but what? Should we have never came here? Would they still be alive if we hadn't? Probably not. We have already caused enough harm here. Let us return to the camp before we cause any more. As for those inside the house, we should send someone to take care of them, someone who isn't us. All we can do for now is make our report to Lucia and do everything in our power to prevent further tragedy. So let us linger here no more. Come. Ba, ba, ba. Nothing better than to teleport. So yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll start streaming Stellar Blade next Monday instead of Resistance Retribution. That'll give me time to get a new controller while I fix this old one, even though it's not that old. Stellar Blade's like a 20 to 30 hour game, so it'll take us a while. Or longer, because I'll probably die a lot. Alize and Alphino tell me they have finished their preliminary search for survivors, but refrained from saying much more than that. Clearly, they are reluctant to provide details. Might I ask for your account? Well, I guess you can.
Thank you for your report. We shall inform the troops of these developments and instruct them to proceed with the utmost caution should they encounter any survivors.
Allow me to go and speak with the ones at the victor's spoils. They may be more willing to listen to a fellow Garlean and accept our offer of assistance.
I pray you are right. And though I am loath to burden you any further, should there be an appropriate occasion to speak of Licinia and her sister, please do so.
I am sorry to have put you through this.
My distress is nothing compared to their suffering. So tell me, what else have we learned?
As you may have already heard, we have succeeded in curing the members of the Populares, Maxima identified. They have provided us with some intriguing insights into the current state of Garlemald. The assassination of Emperor Varus was the catalyst for the civil war. Nerva declared his claim to the throne, and his opponents refused to recognize it. Fighting broke out in the capital, where Nerva's 3rd Legion clashed with the 1st, who remained loyal to Varus even after his death.
Of course, even Imperial warmongers would balk at the idea of turning their shining city into a battleground. Like burning down the wood to spite the wasps. Neither side would be so mad. Unless something or someone inflamed their animosity to such an extent that they could not help but act against their better judgment.
It brings to mind events at the Gimlet Dark, does it not? The Emperor's sudden withdrawal from the front lines, specifically. Nerva and his father, Titus, Varus's then political rival, took advantage of rumors that Crown Prince Xenos had been possessed by a demon.
Elidibus, what better way to disparage your enemies than with the truth, or a close enough approximation?
Indeed. But before their accusations could be substantiated, many of Titus's followers were silenced. While some were merely stripped of their status, others died under curious circumstances. One after another, suddenly and suspiciously.
Again, Elidibus. Like as not, he had a hand in it. No evidence was found to implicate Varus, certainly. Nevertheless, Titus, Nerva, and the Third Legion would have judged it a brazen attempt by the Emperor to rid himself of his political enemies. And then, in the midst of this growing turmoil, Varus Sosgalvis is murdered. And Garlemald's own prodigal son, Gaius van Belsar, is named the murderer. Shortly thereafter, Nerva claims the right of succession, and in response, the First Legion claims the assassination was part of a coup d'etat orchestrated by Titus and Nerva.
So no one is at fault, and everyone else is to blame.
I should add that both parties received substantial financial backing, presumably to provide them with the means and encouragement to pursue a swift victory, and that these contributions came from the self-same benefactor.
I'd heard House Brutus had been filling the Third Legion's coffers, but the First as well.
It would seem so. Though the Populares determined that the First Legion received funds from a variety of organizations, all had connections to House Brutus.
So Fandaniel, in the guise of Asahi, was playing both sides against each other the entire time.
The information we gained from my friends does not end there. One night, shortly after fighting broke out, the capital was shaken by an immense tremor. From that point onward, they have no memories, no recollection of any events, including our clash on the Magna Glaciers. But when asked about the Imperial Palace and its bizarre transformation, they somehow recall Emperor Varus giving them orders in their dreams. May the Tower of Babel stand as testament to the glory of Garlemald.
This sounds awfully familiar.
We have something to show you all.
Varus spoke to them through this radio. Perhaps it was a recording, but if not, that would be inexplicable.
We are of one mind, then.
The ether that permeates the ore used in this device is almost identical to that of the talismans.
I see it. While it is likely more by coincidence than design, these devices might also ward against a primal's influence. A picture is beginning to form. If the tremor felt throughout Garlemald was a wave of ether emitted by a primal, then while those within range would have been tempered, those huddled around a radio desperate for news concerning the Civil War would have been spared.
No wonder Licinia kept it close.
My friends, I must speak with you. A young man was caught trying to steal our supplies. He is a soldier of the Iron Men, we think, but one who has not been made thrall. Thankfully, Magni restrained him before blood was spilled. The stranger is outside, if you wish to ask him questions.
I think we do.
He doesn't look restrained to me.
Garleans?
Traitors to your homeland! Have you no shame?
I am Lucia Junius, a Temple Knight of Ishgard. And you are?
Iulus Pier Norbanus. And that's all you invaders will get from me.
We are not here to invade Garlemald. Far from it. Like you, our allies in Eorzea and the Far East fight in defense of their lives and their loved ones even as we speak. But it is the people of Garlemald who have suffered most. This we know. And that is why we have come to offer you our aid, that we may unite against our common foe. Whether you believe me or not, those are the facts. Now, answer me this. Why would a proud soldier of the Empire be reduced to stealing? The situation must be dire indeed for you to go to such lengths. If it is supplies you seek, we would gladly share ours, or turn a blind eye while you leave with your spoils.
I will not negotiate. My commander will determine how to deal with you and yours. If you wish to treat with him, I will take you, but no more than 3.
I don't much like the sound of that. But if we do accept his proposal, I suggest the 2 of us and...
Please allow me and Alize to act as envoys.
May I ask why?
We have seen with our own eyes the hardships the Garleans face. How their futures and lives hang in the balance.
It's not the warmest invitation, but it's an opportunity to prove our intentions true. Maybe not a chance to make things right, but a chance to make them better.
I'm going with you.
I can see that persuading you otherwise is a lost cause, but you will proceed with the utmost care.
A couple of children and what? A sellsword? Is this an insult?
Not in the least. You will find that they are more than qualified to speak on our behalf.
There are many dangers on the road ahead. I will need that back.
Well, that was abrasive. He'll find out very quickly that this sellsword can do many things. You'll be received as invited guests, so I urge you to observe proper social etiquette and conduct yourselves accordingly. Your safe return takes precedence above all else. Remember this. Thancred in particular will be worried sick if you're gone too long. May the Fury watch over and keep you. I think Thancred will be fine. Are you and the children ready? I'll explain the route once we are outside your camp. If anyone attempts to follow us, we will judge it as an act of hostility. We will not hesitate to take appropriate measures. I would expect nothing less. You have our full cooperation. Who's we? I kept saying we. And yet, it's just him. Alright, Snippy. Where are we going? Alright, this is far enough. Listen carefully. We head over the hill, then follow the road until we reach Liminal Station 4. Children in the lead. I want you where I can see you. We do have names, you know. I'm Elise and he's Alphino. And last but not least, there's Valtamont. Valtamont? Where have I heard that before? No matter. Alphino and Alize will watch the road ahead while we bring up the rear. Wasn't lying about there being many dangers, so you're to run, not saunter, run, towards the station. If you even think about going for your weapon, the deal's off. Should any creatures bar the way, we go around them. Once you choose to depart, Julius will accompany you. Alphino and Alize will begin moving forward to the destination. Make your way to the limousine behind. Leave Julius behind for any reason. Ready to make a dash for the station. I mean, he's right here. If you question it, you could just ask. It's funny how that cutscene was going on so long, my controller turned off. Draw attention on the road. I thought the road was supposed to be safe. Hey, Walks. Oh, so now Final Fantasy goes burr? Not just Destiny 2? You, sir, are Playboy. You don't care what you do to any game as long as you get to have your fun. There, happy, Julius? We stayed the course. This is it, the first stop, that is. Good. Looks like your friends knew better than to follow us. Are these your headquarters? No, we're stopping here so I can check for pursuers. Since it appears you've kept your side of the bargain, we can carry on. You got a new mic. This one, when I heard myself talk in stream, oh boy, I sound terrible. Well, that's good. What kind of mic? North of the station is Regio Domorum, one of the main residential areas. Or at least it was. The afflicted roam the streets in packs. They'll tear us to shreds if given the chance. Keep close, no wandering off, understood? I mean, they won't tear me to shreds. Maybe you. We got new boots. Booties. Thigh boots? Bro, come on. Don't call them that. I'm a dude. It's a luncheon toadskin, right? Can't even really see them anyway. From here, we'll be heading northeast. Keep to the left of the railway. While the route itself is straightforward, getting past the hordes unseen is anything but. Keep your weapons at the ready. They would attack their own countrymen? Aye, they spare their own, but slaughter the rest without hesitation. Though we'll try to avoid detection, the chances of sneaking by completely unnoticed are slim at best. I will lead the way, but in the event we are seen, you're to fight them off. Those two will follow us, provided they can refrain from drawing their weapons. While I doubt they would be foolish enough to stab their guide in the back, I will not take that chance. With that said, let us proceed. You're going to make your own mic. I mean, your mic didn't sound that bad when we were chatting on Discord. Not to my ear, anyway. It sounded like a typical, like, headset microphone. Though, maybe a little better. Unless it's not a headset microphone, then, well... I don't know what to tell you. So, I am... the only one fighting these guys. Interesting. I see why your comrades chose you. Julius, our contingent has a cure for the afflicted, or tempered as we call them. Your people would need to be taken into custody that we may administer the treatment, but they would eventually regain their sanity. Is that so? For all I know, your treatment would simply force them to forsake one master for another. As far as I and my legion are concerned, they are no longer our people. They're beyond saving. Those who thought differently and tried to reason with them were butchered for their bleeding hearts. Come, we have to keep moving. It's a tripod mic, so maybe it's my voice that's terrible. I mean, that'd be like a personal thing, but... Tripod microphone. Hold on. Had to sneeze. I'm not sure what that is. Event canceled. What the hell does that mean? Did he seriously stun me? Are you kidding? Bro, you serious right now? Little dickbags are gonna stun me like that? Rather finish this guy up than waste my Phoenix on them. Looks like we're not being followed. We will continue onward. You mean you guys will continue onward, I'll just catch up. Stand mic on a small tripod? Oh, I see what you're saying. I used to have a microphone like that, or mic setup, I should say, like that. It wasn't bad. I meant what I said. These people deserve only death. I stayed my hand before only out of the desire to remain undiscovered, and that is still the higher priority. We should continue to avoid any unnecessary confrontations. Keep following the railway. Well, did you kill these guys? Because I didn't. Wait. So we went all the way up here. Oh, it's unattuned. Okay. Well, how is it unattuned if I've been up here? Unless that's just uncovered because I'm doing this quest. Those are interesting looking creatures. These guys I will waste my Phoenix on because they are gross looking. Those are not tempered soldiers. Those are weirdos. Look what they've become. Would you still stand there and claim that they could be cured? No, those guys were too far gone. Was exposed to a vast quantity of primal's aether must suffer severe corruption. Even with treatment, such victims are beyond salvation. Then you admit it. Now that you have seen these monstrosities for yourself, perhaps you will think twice before speaking of a cure. Nah, I'm gonna still speak of it. Just to bug you. Where the hell is that place? It must be underground. Or in this cliff. Somewhere. We're almost there. You have kept your side of the agreement, so I will keep mine this way. Yeah, see, we're not so bad. Now tell us where your masters are. This is Tertium, one of Garlemald's largest stations. It now serves as our headquarters. I've already sent the twins ahead. I will be with you soon, so wait for me at the bottom of the stairs. What the hell is that? Aha, there it is. I know about a little circuitry from one of my classes. It should work. Well, hopefully you can get the parts for cheap. Because I know even some really good parts can be not as expensive as an actual microphone would cost. It's plain to see why they chose this as their base of operations. They could have done a lot worse. Even so, I imagine it's not the easiest place to live in. Indeed, and if Julius was willing to make the perilous journey to Camp Broken Glass in search of food, their own supplies must be all but exhausted. They may be shielded from the wind and snow, but it's still bitterly cold. Much like Victor's spoils, it must be a constant struggle to keep their people warm. Well, if a mic is cheaper than a capacitor, maybe it's not a good microphone. I'm just saying that, like, when you think about the components that make up a microphone, I mean, I've seen DIY projects on YouTube of guys making their own microphones, and it's, like, not anywhere near as expensive as some of these things. Like, my current microphone right here is a condenser microphone. I paid like $250 for this thing. But my other microphone I have is a dynamic one, and I only paid $80 for that one. And that one's, well, it's different, but it doesn't sound terrible. I just, at the time when I used those, I didn't have a mixer. I just had an interface, so there wasn't much I could do about bass, treble, mids, all that stuff. Lower your voices. While you may be here as my guests, the others will not take kindly to your presence. My commander is in the locomotive over there. Ah, yes, the one with the power line going to it. Let's attune to the crystal first. If these guys won't take kindly to our presence, then why are they standing around just letting us walk around their place? That's what I thought. There are holes in your crap. Oh, we can't even attune to it yet. Makes sense, I suppose.
These are their chosen representatives.
Very well. Let us hear what they have to say.
Imposing
Yes,
commander.
sir.
Please. He's not imposing.
I present to you our commander, Lord Quintus Vankina, Legatus of the First Legion.
The first? I had no idea you had survived.
We lost our emperor, our city, more than half our troops. For my wounds, I may never take the field again. But we survived, aye. In a manner much to your liking, I dare say.
We have no intention of adding to your misfortunes, nor do we bear you any ill will.
Spare me. Though you children may speak in earnest, overtures of peace ever ring hollow in my ears. So long as man stands to profit from his neighbor's suffering, war is inevitable. Driven from our ancestral homeland into this blasted waste. Yet still you yearned to rob us of our paltry scraps. 'Twas only with Magitech that you learned to keep your distance. Though we knew it was only a matter of time before you regrouped and returned. Conquest and empire were our only defenses. Emperors Solus and Varys understood this, and through their campaigns saw us grow and prosper. Much blood has been spilled in Garlemald's name, aye. But if it is a choice between yours and mine, then it is hardly a choice at all.
I do not deny that a great many conflicts throughout history were driven by the desire or necessity to gain by another's loss. That is not why we are here. Nor have we come to petition your aid in the war with the Telophoroi, grave though that threat may be. Our purpose is simply this. We wish to help you. Let us help you. If there is aught that can be done to ease your plight, we would be glad to do it.
Perhaps you would. But regardless of the ideals you espouse, your leaders would not send an army into Garlemald if they did not stand to benefit. If we accept their aid, they will expect their efforts to be rewarded once the Telophoroi are no longer a threat. And after compensation and concessions, the great empire would be brought to heel. Her enemies rejoice at her downfall. Our third eye, a mark of shame.
We won't stand idly by and let your people be humiliated. And we're not alone in that. We only want to make a difference, to make this world of ours better. Surely you can understand that. What I'm trying to say is, there are so many people who just don't care about making you suffer. And maybe that's almost insulting after all the suffering you feel the world has subjected your people to, but believe it or not, that's the truth. And now we're here, and all we're asking is for you to tell us what you want, what you hope for.
So much blood has been shed, so much lost. All because of this endless war. Who wouldn't want to end it? Can we not work together to face our problems as one?
Answer me this, young peacemakers. If a world without conflict is your desire, why reject the unity and prosperity of Garlemald? Is it because we do not share your faith? That we do not share your heritage? That our ideals and virtues differ? That we cherish and hold in the highest that which you do not? Disparity is the root of discord, and peace built on compromise is flawed and fleeting. Happiness for one and all is a dream, and the reality is that to the victor go the spoils. That is why we Garleans will never submit nor surrender. For freedom and for pride, we will remain true to ourselves until the bitter end. That is my hope. It seems there is nothing more to say on the matter. You will remain here while I decide what is to be done with you. Do not be alarmed. No harm will come to you if you cooperate.
We will not resist. However, as your guests, I ask that we be allowed to speak with the other members of your group.
As you wish. I had no intention of locking you up, as by dawn you would be frozen stiff and you're no good to me dead. You are free to move about the encampment, but there is one condition. Collar them.
What are these?
Incentive. You'll be watched at all times. Stray too far or act suspiciously, and we will administer a rather painful shock. Stop! Keep away from that one. The champion of Eorzea is not so easily cowed. Even if he allowed himself to be collared, the shock would be no more than an itch. No. If he refuses to obey, we will activate the twins' restraints instead.
You needn't worry about us.
We'll forget we're even wearing them soon enough.
Even now, you still... Why go to such lengths? What is it all for?
On the coldest, blackest of nights, meager though it may be, we must share the warmth of our fire.
You are a curious one. A far cry from the merciless barbarian others paint you to be. You will be their warden. Take them away.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm with Huffman on this one. Like, did they just forget what they've done? Like, the scale in which they invaded other continents to take over the world under their rule. And this dude wants us to feel bad for him? Give me a break, dude. I beat his head in the moment I could. I love how he just, like, mentioned I'm the champion of Eorzea. And everybody just took a step back, and I'm like, you're goddamn right. As per Lord Quintus's instructions, I am to supervise you during your time here in Tertium. More like Tertium, am I right? Hey-oh, up top. Before you ask, no, I don't have a key or any other means to remove your collars, nor would I tell you if I did. And if you try anything, you'll soon wish you hadn't. So, do you truly intend to speak with the others, or was that merely a ruse? We're in no hurry to disobey Lord Quintus, if that's what you mean. Or perhaps you doubt the wisdom of his decision. That's what I thought. Do as you will, but remember I'll be watching. If I catch you doing anything untoward, trying to trick our people into turning their coats and the like, those shock collars will be the least of your worries. Understood? Oh no. You won't touch these two. They are under my protection. Buddy boy. Yeah, this is main scenario. Though we're somewhat compromised, to put it lightly, let's not waste this opportunity. I suggest splitting up and learning what we can of their situation. And above all else, don't use magics of any sort. You, on the other hand, may go wherever so you wish, even outside the camp. I know full well I couldn't stop you if I tried. You're goddamn right. Alright, Walks. Thanks for stopping in, man. I thought it was weird that you were sticking around, being that this is all main scenario. Not like this really, you know, ruins much. You don't really have context, but I understand. But do not forget, if you do anything to endanger us or our interests, Alphinaud and Alize will pay the price. With shock collars? Can't forget, Adam, the Garleans knew about you under the title of Icon Slayer all the way back in Heaven's Word. The Emperor himself comments to your face on it. Well, I don't remember. You know my memory sucks. You came with Julius, didn't you? Well, whatever business brought you here, you'd best keep your hands off that aetheryte. It's deactivated, but I'd rather you didn't mess about with it. There are others throughout the city, built by Garleans for Garleans. Could teleport all over in the blink of an eye, provided there was a terminal nearby. These days, however, we use the aetheryte's power to keep this place lit, though that comes at the cost of its normal function. Okay. It's you, Valtimont Portalane. I served under Lord Gaius in the 14th Legion. I was there on the night of the night the Praetorium fell. You and your adventurers, you killed them, my comrades, my friends, swept them aside in their dozens as though they were nothing to you. Maybe I am too, just another faceless enemy to be cut down. But it won't be long until our countrymen return, until you get what you deserve. Mark my words. I thought she was excited to see me at first. So cold. This young soldier is on the verge of losing consciousness. Well, that's nice. We don't try to help him or nothing. I know who you are, this so-called champion of Eorzea. Come to gloat, have you? I'll wipe that smirk off your face. By the blood of our fallen compatriots, I swear I'll... Damn, tore the sutures. Of all the times, the worst of the lot within striking distance, and I can't even muster the strength. If it weren't for the Illard bleeding us, we'd be at the end of you. Virgilia's treachery nearly cost Lord Quintus his life, but we made our escape, took shelter in a mansion, tended to the wounded as we prepared to strike back, and then night fell and we gathered around the radio. Then the roar, the terrible roar. The capital was in chaos, but we were spared. If you can call this a mercy. Mind intact, but body broken, a soldier in name alone. I'd cut you down where you stand if I could, murderer. Doubtful, dick. This radio is the same model as the one used at Victor's spoils. Perhaps it is what saved the soldiers from being tempered. Perhaps. Did you learn anything of note? No. Then your findings are consistent with my own. Their plight is desperate indeed. The sick and injured are at greatest risk. Without warmth and proper nutrition, I fear they will soon perish. I realize there's precious little we can do for them at present, but I cannot bear to see them suffer. Please, will you help me tend to them? Okay. What's up, Flavius? Or Flavius? Who's there? My eyes, I can't see all that well. But thank you. The numbness has subsided a little. But I know I won't last much longer. You should look to the others who can still fight. Give them my ration. If me going hungry means someone else lives to see another day, so be it. At least I can still serve in that way. That's it. I talked to one guy when he asked me to talk to mobile people. Like, what the hell? So those you met fare no better. The one person I met, yeah. I was afraid you would say that. I know we were warned against meddling in their affairs, but we can't leave them like this. Perhaps we might gain permission to have the contingent deliver supplies. Quintus may have made his feelings on the matter quite clear, but even he must recognize they are not in a position to refuse help. Maybe Julius could persuade him, though we'd need to persuade Julius first. Well done, you helped him a little. Well, seen enough? Julius, the people here have barely enough food and fuel to survive. Have you and the other soldiers been able to procure any more supplies? We've been scavenging provisions from the nearby houses, as most families kept, some stored away in the event they were snowed in. Still, going out and getting it is dangerous work, and we have a lot of mouths to feed. Fuel is the greater concern, though. We had some ceruleum set aside until it was stolen. We haven't identified the culprit. Could have been other refugees or one of the afflicted, for all we know. Either way, we're down to the last dregs. Without the heating they need, those in poor health are only going to get worse instead of better. Well, we've got a little thing of ceruleum, I think. If it's ceruleum you need, our contingent has secured a ready supply. We can have some sent over. We will not accept your charity. If we can hold on a little longer, the situation is sure to change. Aye, everything will change. This guy's dumb. One of your comrades mentioned something along those lines. Heard something of it, have you? Well, from what I've seen, there's little you could do to interfere, so there's no harm in telling you. One of our scouts spotted a hooded man issuing instructions to the afflicted, or in the bastard's words, loyal servants of the Chalofroi. Then he made his way inside the Imperial Palace, or what stands in its place. We had identified the seat of the enemy's power, we realized. Lord Quintus dispatched a messenger to the 10th Legion saying as much, and instructing them to join forces with the provincial legions, to prepare for a combined assault on the Chalofroi. Once our allies arrived, your contingent will be sent running for the hills. Then we shall reclaim the capital by our own hand. And how do you intend to survive in the meantime? At this rate, many of your countrymen will perish before reinforcements reach Garlemald. They need help now. Say the word, and we will bring you ceruleum. I will speak with Lord Quintus. So, did he agree to it? Of course he wouldn't. No, he will not place Garlemald in the debt of her enemies. I have, however, this dude, all I'm getting out of these idiots is pride. That's all it is. I have, however, been ordered to search for ceruleum outside. As you are under my watch, you will come with me. Very well. After all, my hands make light work. Or many hands make light work. You lot are more trouble than you're worth. Once we are outside, you will follow my instructions to the letter. We depart shortly. Yeah, I wanted to finish that one up before we finished up tonight, which, perfect timing anyway. Okay. We're going to end it there. We got his park materials. The heck? Oh, there it is. I'm like, where is this? We got, looks like maybe just past halfway on this list, and we still have quite a bit to go. Whew, it's going to be a long expansion, but you know what? It's going to be a good one. I can feel it. Hopefully you can feel it too. But that's going to do it for me tonight, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. And please join me again on Sunday for more Final Fantasy XIV. Remember, noon. We're going to be continuing on with these main scenario quests. And hopefully, well, there's no doubt we're going to finish 82 to 83 and probably begin 84 to 85. And that's going to be another long one. So it's going to take us a while, but that's okay. That's what we're here for. We're here for a long time, not a good time. No, also a good time. Anyway, until then, I'm Adam Wolf. This is Final Fantasy XIV. And I'll see you guys later.